All right, so you need to get up to speed on Alphabet's Q1 2024 earnings call.
But you don't have time to read through the whole thing.
Exactly.
Well, we got you.
We've pulled out all the key numbers.
The really juicy stuff.
And the interesting conversations between the execs and the analysts.
So you can sound like a total rock star in your next meeting.
Exactly.
So let's kick things off with that $80.5 billion revenue number.
15% jump year over year.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
But what's really interesting is the breakdown.
Search is still king, of course.
But YouTube and cloud.
They're on fire.
On track for a combined $100 billion annual run rate by the end of 2024.
$100 billion.
Remember that number.
That's huge.
It is, and it really speaks to how Alphabet is successfully diversifying its revenue streams.
Good, but let's dive into search and AI.
Because that's where things get really fascinating.
All right.
CEO Sundar Pichai said,
Okay.
"We have already served billions of queries with our generative AI features. It's enabling people to access new information, to ask questions in new ways, and to ask more complex questions."
So they're really weaving AI into the fabric of search.
Yeah, but is it actually working?
That's the question.
Well, early tests show increased user satisfaction and engagement
Interesting.
with these AI-powered features.
So what?
One analyst even asked if there was any reason to believe Shorts monetization couldn't eventually match traditional YouTube videos.
Hold on, back up a sec before we jump to YouTube.
Okay.
Tell me more about this user engagement with AI in search.
Sure.
What's the significance of that?
It suggests that users aren't just playing around with these AI features for novelty's sake.
Right.
They're finding genuine value.
Okay.
And that's a big deal because it points to a potential shift in how people interact with information online.
Interesting.
If search becomes more conversational and AI-driven,
Yeah.
that opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
I'm really curious to see how this is all going to play out.
Me too.
But you mentioned YouTube. Let's talk about those impressive ad revenue numbers.
Yeah. 21% jump.
That's got to be music to their ears.
Absolutely. And it was driven by both brand and direct response advertising.
So it's not just one segment of the market.
Exactly.
You also mentioned Shorts monetization.
Right.
And an analyst actually pressed the executives on that,
I did.
asking if there was any reason it couldn't eventually match traditional video monetization.
Yeah. Are they saying Shorts could be just as profitable as those longer form videos?
That seems like a pretty bold statement.
It is, but the execs didn't see any structural limitations. They pointed out that Shorts is already seeing over 70 billion daily views.
Wow.
And the number of channels uploading Shorts is up 50% year over year.
Okay, those are some serious numbers.
Yeah.
So Shorts isn't just a fad.
Nope.
It's a force to be reckoned with.
It certainly seems that way.
All right, now let's shift gears and talk about Google Cloud.
Okay.
Remember that 28% revenue growth we mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that is fueled by AI.
Makes sense.
Over 60% of funded AI startups are already Google Cloud customers.
So they're becoming the go-to platform for the AI revolution.
They're in a prime position, that's for sure.
Yeah, as Pichai said.
Okay.
Our differentiation in cloud begins with our AI hypercomputer, which provides efficient and cost-effective infrastructure to train and serve models.
So they're not just offering AI tools, they're providing the entire infrastructure needed to build and deploy AI solutions.
Exactly.
That's smart.
It is. They're making it easy for businesses to embrace AI without having to build everything from scratch.
Right, but all this innovation comes at a cost.
You bet.
Okay.
Alphabet poured a record $12 billion into capital expenditures this quarter,
Whoa.
mainly on technical infrastructure like servers and data centers.
So they're not messing around.
Nope, and they expect similar spending levels throughout the year.
Wow. That's a huge investment, but
Yep.
it shows how serious they are about winning the AI race.
It absolutely does, and here's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
During the Q&A, an analyst asked about specific areas where Alphabet sees potential for more cost optimization in 2024.
Interesting.
CFO Ruth Porat highlighted durably re-engineering the cost base
Okay.
and pointed to product and process prioritization, organizational efficiency and structure, AI-driven internal operations, procurement optimization, and even their real estate footprint.
So they're not just spending like crazy.
No.
They're also looking for ways to be more efficient.
Right, and that's reflected in their operating margin, which expanded by 400 basis points year over year.
So they're investing heavily in growth while also becoming more profitable.
Exactly.
That's a powerful combination.
Yeah.
But here's a question that's been on my mind. With all this talk about AI,
Yeah.
how is this going to affect the competitive landscape for search?
That's a great question.
There's a lot of companies trying to get people to use their search products instead of Google.
Right.
Like, is AI really going to shake things up?
Well, an analyst asked that very question.
Oh, really?
Specifically, whether AI systems like chatbots could change search volume or create new ways to search off of Google.
So could AI shake up the whole search game? That's a pretty big deal.
It is, and Pichai addressed this directly.
Okay.
He believes this is a positive moment for search,
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity for Google to improve its core product.
So they're not running scared from the competition?
Not at all.
Okay.
Pichai emphasized that Google Search is more than just a search engine. It's a whole information ecosystem,
Right.
offering factual answers, links to sources across the web, and diverse perspectives.
So they're not just like a list of 10 blue links anymore?
Right. And he specifically said, we see this as a moment of opportunity to evolve search. We've been investing in AI for a long time, and we believe our deep investments in search and AI give us an advantage.
Okay, so Google's confident they can stay ahead of the game.
It seems that way.
But what about another area where competition is heating up?
What's that?
Sports rights. I remember Alphabet made a big splash when they snagged NFL Sunday Ticket last year.
They did.
And one analyst asked about their overall strategy for acquiring more live sports rights,
Interesting.
especially with major league contracts coming up for renewal.
Makes sense. Sunday Ticket was a big investment.
It was, are they willing to spend even more?
That's the question.
Right.
Their response was interesting. They highlighted their existing partnerships with many popular sports leagues, federations, teams, and broadcasters,
Okay.
but emphasized we're always looking for opportunities to create value for our users, advertisers, and creators.
So they're playing it close to the vest,
Yeah.
not ruling out further acquisitions, but not making any promises either.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's talk about mobile search.
All right.
I'm curious how AI is changing how people search on their phones.
Ah, yes, the rise of on-device AI.
Right.
An analyst brought this up too,
Do they?
asking about monetization if more search processing happens on the phone itself rather than in the cloud. Remember, a lot of Google's revenue comes from serving ads alongside search results.
Right. If searches are happening offline, does that mean Google can't serve ads?
That's the question.
Yeah.
But Pichai was reassuring.
Okay.
He said, in many of these cases, users will still need the vast resources of the cloud and access to the web, so I view it as an enhancement to the overall experience.
Okay. So they believe they can still monetize mobile search even with more AI processing happening on devices.
That seems to be their position.
Got it. So they're embracing these new technologies without abandoning their core business.
Exactly.
Speaking of core business, one analyst asked about the core search business and what they're seeing in terms of changes in commercial query trends with the rise of new e-commerce players.
Right. So are people searching differently now that there are all these new places to buy stuff online?
That's my question.
Well, Pichai basically said that strong organic search performance typically leads to strong monetization. He sees the integration of generative AI in search as a way to handle more complex queries more effectively.
So they're not just watching the e-commerce landscape change.
Nope.
They're actively looking for ways to adapt and thrive in this new environment.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, now let's circle back to YouTube for a minute.
Okay.
Remember that question about the long-term potential of Shorts monetization?
The one where they said it could potentially match traditional video monetization?
Yeah, that was a pretty bold prediction.
It was. And another analyst dug deeper into this,
Oh, really?
specifically asking, is there anything structurally different about Shorts that would preclude that over the long term?
So are they doubling down on that prediction?
Pretty much.
Hmm.
They reiterated that they don't see any structural limitations
Okay.
and highlighted the fact that they are very focused on driving engagement and monetization growth.
Okay, so they're not backing down from that statement.
It seems not.
That's pretty interesting, and they've got the numbers to back it up. Remember, Shorts has over 70 billion daily views.
It's a massive audience.
It is, and it seems like they're just getting started.
Yeah, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have strong financial performance, bold AI investments, a strategic approach to cost optimization,
Right.
and fascinating insights from those analyst Q&As.
It was a good call.
What's the big takeaway for you?
I'd say the big takeaway is that Alphabet isn't just riding the tech wave. They're shaping it.
They're at the forefront of the AI revolution, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely. But here's a question that's been on my mind.
With so much investment in AI, can they keep up this pace of innovation
Right.
without sacrificing profitability?
That's the million-dollar question. It'll be fascinating to see how they balance those two priorities.
Exactly. We'll be watching closely to see how this all plays out. Any other final thoughts before we wrap up?
Keep an eye on that $100 billion combined revenue run rate for YouTube and cloud.
Yeah.
Will they actually hit that target by the end of 2024?
That'll be a big milestone to watch.
Yeah.
And what about those AI features in search?
Right.
Will user engagement continue to grow? And will that translate into higher ad revenue?
Lots of questions to ponder. And remember those bold statements about Shorts monetization?
Oh, yeah.
Eventually matching traditional YouTube videos?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if that prediction comes true.
It will. There's a lot to unpack in the coming months.
There is. Alphabet is clearly at a pivotal moment. And their decisions over the next few quarters could have a major impact on the entire tech landscape.
So much is riding on their next move. It makes you wonder, what's the big question we'll be asking after the next earnings call?
Exactly. Will they rise to the challenge, or will the pressure start to mount?
Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this is going to be an exciting ride.
You said it. Until next time, happy deep diving.
And remember, stay curious.